Since the start of 2023, there has been an increase in domestic violence homicides, and NC is already on track to have a record number of DV-related homicides for the year with 22 deaths and counting, according to the North Carolina Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Katherine Johnson, director of the Family Justice Center, explained why this is the case.
We've seen an uptick in domestic violence homicides since COVID, a significant uptick actually. And we know that with isolation, power and control, and what an abuser does to their partner can escalate. And we've had this extended season of isolation. The Family Justice Center was created to reduce homicides. That's actually one of our top goals. One of the reasons that really pushed our center to getting open is in 2013 and 2014, Guilford led the state of North Carolina with the most number of domestic violence homicides.
This type of violence doesn't happen out of the blue. Experts Johnson and Sandra Phelps at the Family Service of the Piedmont say there are signs to watch out for, the biggest one being strangulation.
And actually, the Strangulation Institute says that you're 1,000% more likely to be killed by your partner if you're strangled than any other form of physical abuse. So we know that is a huge red flag. That means that your abuser has your life in their hands as they put their hands around your throat. And we see that as attempted murder.
It's a very quick way to hurt someone. There is something very different about being willing to put your hands around someone else's, their throat and cut off that oxygen or blood supply to the brain.
Survivor Marva Edwards of Greensboro knows the reality of the dangers of domestic violence all too well.
I noticed that he was always to know where I was, who had been by, what I did all day. And I took that as being the manner of someone who genuinely concerned and who cared and was being nothing short of attentive. He went from being verbally abusive and having hit me to becoming consistently verbally abusive and physically abusive. And so to the point that who I had been, I was no longer. Who I was somewhere buried beneath.
Edwards said she wanted to leave but didn't know how.
I stayed in it because I felt trapped. I didn't feel like I had anywhere to go. I didn't know what to do. Like most, I have plenty of family in Greensboro, but I still felt like, and I'm saying felt like I didn't have anywhere to go. And I felt like no one could really understand or relate to what it was I was dealing with at the time.
When the abuse became too much, Edwards said she started making steps to end the relationship.
I filed a restraining order. I honestly started fighting back. Even though I was full of fear, I still physically stood up for myself. I wasn't aware of a safety plan at that time. My plan was just to get him out.
While Edwards managed to make it out of the relationship safely, experts say the most dangerous time in a domestic violence relationship is at the termination point, which is why they urge victims to come up with a safety plan before leaving.
So safety planning is such a critical component of leaving an abusive relationship. And we have trained staff here at the Family Justice Center who can talk with survivors about how to do that because it's unique. It's unique to the individual person.
So we always would recommend setting aside some of those important documents and maybe some money if possible to kind of prepare for leaving and to have that somewhere safe.
If you or someone you know is suffering from domestic violence, you can reach out to the Family Justice Center, the Family Service of the Piedmont, or the National Domestic Violence Hotline.